All right. Hi, everyone. Good day. I am Ashley, and I'm here with Kay and Elizabeth. And we're talking about one of those hot topics you guys are all interested and have questions about, maybe. Today, we will be covering J-1 summer work and travel visas and your workers' rights, responsibilities as a visa holder. Now, we cannot answer your specific questions about your individual case or application, especially on this public forum. So you are entitled to privacy about your own situation. You can find more information about how to travel to the United States on our website, that is jm.usembassy.gov, and the website to our authorized service provider at usvisas/info.com. Keep on top of embassy news on our Facebook page, which you're on now, Instagram, and X, US Embassy JA. So overall, the J-1 Summer Work and Travel Exchange is a popular program in Jamaica with thousands of students traveling to the United States each year during the semester. The Department of State is committed to protecting our nation and its citizens by upholding the highest standards of national security and public safety through our visa process. To avoid any unnecessary complications, applicants are reminded that all answers on your electronic application and at your interview at the embassy must be true and complete, and all documents must be genuine. I have some questions myself for Kay and Elizabeth, so I'm going to go ahead and get right into it and ask them. If you have questions, please type them in our chat, and we'll be sure to look and answer as many as we can before we, read them on air. So first question, which is pretty simple, whoever wants to answer. What are the requirements to be eligible for the J-1 student work travel visa?
Well,
or a summer work travel visa?
Yes,
which one is it?
Summer work and travel visa.
Okay.
So very importantly, you must be a full-time student at an accredited university or college or program.
Okay.
So you cannot be part-time. And this equates to about 12 semester hours per semester. Yes. And also, you must have completed at least one semester before you apply for this program.
Okay.
That's important as well. And it should not exceed 4 months. So you can't go over for the summer program more than 4 months.
Oh, yes. Because you got to come back for
exactly.
Okay,
You're there for school, break. So you don't want to miss.
So they're just supposed to go during their summer break during school to do this.
Yes, correct. And bring all the documents that you're going to need to go on the program. That you're going, for example, your insurance, your service fee should be paid. So just be prepared.
Okay,
it's very important.
Okay, so what do I need for, let's say, my J-1 summer work travel visa application? Like, what does the application even need? It doesn't sound like a regular visa.
Yeah, so you need a couple things that are different from a normal B1, B2 tourist visa. So you definitely want your Jamaican passport to be up to date. You'll fill out the same DS-160 application form. If you've ever applied for a tourist visa, it's that same form. You'll need your passport size photos so that if you're approved for the visa, your face goes right on the visa page. But different than a tourist visa, you're going to need 2 documents called a DS-2019 and a SEVIS receipt. So those documents will come from the program at which you'll be working, and they basically show the department and the officers interviewing you that you're joining a real job, what kind of work you'll be doing, how many hours, what you'll be paid, to show the purpose of your summer work and travel. Now, all of those are required for the interview, but what we recommend also preparing for the interview beforehand is, as Kay mentioned, insurance, proof of insurance coverage to show that, if you ever get sick or heaven forbid injure yourself while you're in the States, you'll be treated and you won't have to pay too much out of pocket, but also your proof of your full-time student status. So a transcript, if you've already graduated, like you just graduated this spring, your proof of your graduation date, and perhaps a letter from your institution describing your full-time student status.
Okay, so I heard you mentioning that, but let's say they have an emergency or something comes up or, a big family commitment. They can't do as much as they were doing, so they had to drop from full-time to part-time during that term. Do they still qualify for the J-1 travel program since they're in school?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh,
You have to be full-time. Like mentioned before, there's an amount of hours you have to be studying for.
oh.
So it's unfortunate that would happen to anyone, but rules are the rules.
Okay.
There it is.
All right. So let's say they did it last year. Is this like a one-time thing and then they have a whole new group, or can they do it again? Is this, how often can they do this?
Yeah, we definitely encourage folks to apply again. We see some folks apply, every summer while they've been through college. So they may have done it 2, 3, or 4 times. So certainly you'll be able to do it again, but you do have to come in to interview every time. So there is no interview waiver. You will have to come in and apply, but the officer will see that, you've done it before, you're a good traveler, and they'll be happy to see that visa again.
Okay. As you said that, and speaking of officer, I've heard some things have changed, and social media is a part of that. Do they really need to, provide their social media handles, like all of them, to the officer? And when do they provide that information?
Yes, you do need to provide your social media information. This is very important, guys. Don't forget. Remember, when you're filling out your DS 160 application, they're going to ask you for the information, and this should be correct because you're going to sign off that information you provide is actually accurate. So ensure that you provide all social media handles because they do their vetting, which is very thorough. And also, if you don't provide it, you can be denied your visa. So you must provide it.
And for all the social media,
not just some,
Yeah,
all
so
of them.
If you run like a side business, they want to see your personal Insta account and the one for your business as well. For example.
Oh, I forgot about those. Okay, so all
Everything
connected to you, just
full
hand it over.
transparency.
Okay.
And we recommend like the morning of the interview, you set them all to public so that as soon as the officer takes your passport and says, what they'll probably say is we have to do some administrative processing, right? They'll be ready to take a look after the interview kind of right away. You don't want to delay them for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
That's really helpful. Good advice. Let's see. What was my other question? Oh, this is forgot to ask this. So let's say I'm hearing about all of this. I'm ready to go, but I have a document that I'm waiting on and it's being delayed, whether by the school or something. Can I just submit my application and apply because I know I'll get the document in time, or what should I do?
We would say don't schedule your interview until all those documents are in order, right? So let's say you need to renew your Jamaican passport. You should definitely have that done before you come to see us here at the embassy. Make sure that SEVIS receipt is in order, your DS 2019 from your future employer. And if you're thinking about it for the summer, ask your college now for that transcript or the letter confirming your enrollment, just to have everything in order before you come to see us because, the wait times are increasing a little bit. We don't want you to be delayed until after your program start date.
Yes, this is true. I want to make sure that you actually get everything in order. So it's good to get everything before the rush.
Yeah.
So just in case there's something that's missing, you can bring it in and you'll be able to get through before you start it.
Oh yeah, because summer is upon us. So
Yes, that is true.
In April already.
Yeah, it's already April, so it's almost summertime for those. I have a question that I think is interesting because like we know with jobs and different positions and what have you, what if a position opens up better than the one I was going to take or apply to and I want to switch? Like, I don't want to be no lifeguard. I don't mind working a cashier or whatever the case may be. I'll put it to Kay. Is that something I can switch? Can I switch once I'm in the U.S.?
As lovely as it may sound, no. You have to stick to the program that you are get permission for. So if you want to make any changes, guys, you have to do it the proper way before but about it. So if someone who's already done it, don't follow them. Do the right thing and make sure that whatever you say you're going to work or we're going to work, you do that.
You say you're gonna work. But when work is all done, can I play? Can I visit family? Can I go to a theme park? Like, what? Can I shop? Hello, Marshalls.
Yes.
I'm good. Like, what can I do?
Yes, you can.
After my program is done.
Yes. So we want to clarify, it's not a guarantee, but J-1 summer work and travel visa holders can be granted up to 30 days by the Customs and Border Protection officers. So when you land in the United States, the officers that take a look at your passport, they're going to grant you how much time you're allowed to travel after the program. So they're going to grant you up to that 30-day grace period, and that can be used for total tourist fun, visit family, go to an amusement park, go shopping, enjoy a little break before you go back to school after you finish the work for the
Perfect.
summer.
But make sure you make it back.
Exactly.
For school.
Yes.
Come on, you're
And
in
make
school.
sure, make sure you check how long by either asking the officer in the moment, say, hey, sir, ma'am, how long am I afforded for my grace period?
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Or you can check online your form I-94 with CBP.
Okay.
Yes.
And the last question before I take questions from the audience, I would like to know, there's a lot going on. People get taken advantage of. What are the rights? We always hear the rules and regulations for going to the U.S., but what are the rights once in the U.S., especially if they're not U.S. citizens? What rights do they have? How do they protect themselves?
Well, you have the right to a healthy and a safe work environment.
Okay.
So if you're being taken advantage of, for instance, do not give no one your travel documents.
That's right.
Even they say, oh, I'm going to keep it for you. No, that's a big red flag. So what we're doing here at the embassy, that when you come to the interview, we give you the card, Know Your Rights card. That's a QR code to use your cell phone and scan it. One for video that goes you through the process, what to expect, what not to do, etc. And the other one for reading material. So it's very important that you go through this because it is for your benefit and for your protection.
And if they're there and they're in an emergency, like how do they get help? Who do they contact? What should they do? Is there other than 911, like what do they do?
Yeah, so they have email at help@humantrafficking.org. Or if you're in the United States, like I mentioned, you can text help at 233-733. That's help at 233-733.
That's excellent. Because, sadly, sometimes the situation when you get there is not what you expected. And the advertisement is not what it all seems. And you are afraid. You don't want to get in trouble. You don't want to, lose status. You feel intimidated. You're also a young student. So it's good that this, resource and tool is there for those that need help. And what's it again? To who are we texting help to?
233-733.
There we go. That's when you're in the U.S. and that's if you get through. That's not right now. Not right now. So I guess we could go ahead and take some questions online. Let's see what we have a lot. Okay. So Jody on X, Jody from X says, my work visa will expire August 15. I do not have a B1, B2. May I go and visit my family in another state for 4 days?
Yeah, so make sure that you're granted that grace period after the end of your actual work and employment, because in general, yes, as long as you've been granted that time by the Customs and Border Protection officer when you enter. We've seen up to 30 days be granted. That's pretty typical. So certainly, finish your work, have fun on those 4 days visiting your family, but then of course do plan to come back to Jamaica when it's all done.
However, up to 30 doesn't mean that you take all the 30 days because it should be back for school.
That's right.
Remind them. Marsha from Facebook, she wants to know, what if I get sick on the program and can't work anymore?
That's a good question.
Wow,
yeah, that's why we mentioned a little bit about having that insurance. It's something that actually, it's not required at the interview, but you should know that the officer may ask for it. And if they ask for it, they would expect you to provide it before they would grant a visa. So they would like to see something like proof of health insurance. And there are certain types of temporary or travel-focused health insurance that would cover you for while you're in the U.S. Because remember, the U.S. is really different. The U.S. doesn't have universal health coverage like Jamaica does, right?
Interesting.
Our health program is really different. And without insurance, you'd be expected to pay probably thousands of dollars out of pocket. But otherwise, if it comes to, a prolonged illness or injury where you're not able to work, you want to make sure you're working with your employer within the confines of the petition. So that's like that work contract that was set out for you. And the answer truly may be that it may be time for you to come back to Jamaica. The best thing for you, you don't want to put your future status at risk, or that of your classmates either, because they do know folks come from colleges, other students and stuff. If it comes to it, the answer may be it would be best for you to come back home to Jamaica.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have Facebook. You guys are really tuning in on Facebook. Moy from Facebook says, any updates on the H-2B visa? We're talking about J1. But I'm going to let them decide if they want to answer that. But go ahead if you.
Yeah, I mean, we're in the process of interviewing, hundreds of H-2B visas every week. So if you have questions, you should first reach out to the Ministry of Labor because, they do the primary vetting for the H-2B program. So that would be your first point of contact.
See, Moy, they answer. Good.
And Janet from Facebook says, is the embassy doing visa renewal? Y'all, no one wants J1 questions? No? So Janet wants to know.
Yes, they are doing visa renewals. However, it's no longer 4 to 8 months. So initially, you could get a renewal if you had a visa within 48 months. Now it's just 12 months.
Taylor, also from Facebook, wants to know, I don't know if it's a he or she, sorry, said, I may have missed it, but can I use I guess you're trying to say, can I use my J1 visa for travel?
Yeah, like within that grace period of following the end of your work period.
But not before or not?
No, yeah, it would be, your obligation is to do, the job that you've been assigned to do first, yeah.
Okay. Sean, can I go this year for World Cup on my J1 visa? I mean, it's in the summer. School. To be fair, it's in the summertime. World Cup's this summer.
Remember that J1. Yes, remember that J1 program is to also help the U.S. employers during the seasonal time. So you're really there to help them out.
Okay.
So you can, I want to see World Cup because I'm in the U.S. No, it doesn't work like that.
Okay. John from Instagram, should I go ahead and get my medical done for my immigrant visa since there is a pause? John.
It's a good question, John, and I don't blame you for asking it. We have to say it at this time. We don't have any idea when the pause might be lifted. That would be a directive that comes from Washington, right? So it's not the embassy's choice. It comes from our superiors in Washington. But what the officers are saying to folks when they come for their interview these days is it's your choice whether you want to do the medical, but do remember that the medical expires 6 months to the day after the day of your medical exam. So when you go in to see the doctor, that medical exam is only good for 6 months. And so if the visa pause lasts longer than 6 months, you would then have to pay for and redo the medical exam. Yeah. So on one hand, it might be good to have it done, but on the other, you might want to wait to save your money until the pause is lifted and that announcement is made, which it has not yet been announced that it's been lifted.
We do have J1 questions.
Yeah.
Dave on Instagram said, what if when I go on the program and my employer starts treating me unfair, can I leave and get another job?
No, I would say you report it.
Oh, okay.
So that card that we give you, don't take it, keep it with you, keep it safe. Do not give your travel documents to anyone. That's very importantly. Because remember, you can't just switch jobs because something is not going right or you see something better. You have to work in the confines of what you're going on based on the response that you got. So no.
And again, the best choice might be to return home to Jamaica in that case.
That's true.
Karen from Facebook wants to know, is there a wait time for J1 and how soon should they apply?
As soon as you have all the documents.
That's right.
Because anything can happen. You may miss something that you need to get. Also, guys, your photos should be solid white background. So if it's a poor quality, you're going to ask for a new photo and you don't want to be delayed for that. So apply as early as you can, get everything in order, and that's the best option. Yeah.
Keisha from X would like to know, is it possible to get a tourist visa with a pending I-130?
So an I-130 would be the petition filed by a family member so that you could immigrate to the United States. Now, it wouldn't automatically disqualify you or disqualify you in either direction, but you have to remember the officer looking at your application for the tourist visa is going to have to consider your ties to Jamaica, not your ties to America. Because remember, you have to prove that you're going to use that visa compliantly, you're going to travel responsibly, and come back home to Jamaica when your trip is all done.
I had another one. I think it's Marcia from Facebook wants to know, is there any information on immigrant visa for those who did their interview before the date of the pause and also being considered an immediate family-like spouse? It's low-key sounding specific.
That's true.
So you've got to remember too that just because you did your interview before the pause doesn't mean that the officer was ready at the time to approve the visa. There's lots of different clearances and processing that has to be done on the visa. And even if you had your interview before the pause, that may have lasted longer after the pause. And now that the pause is ongoing, and at the moment, there's really no exception to the pause. They've made it very clear that we're not able to approve immigrant visas from Jamaica at this time.
Okay. Jenny asked a question that I actually didn't think of, but I think it's really great. So thank you for this question, Jenny. She said, what if I get a J-1 visa? Can I get a visa for my spouse to accompany? So let's say spouse or family. I got approved to go do my summer work travel while in school. Can I get a visa for my family member to come along?
No, not for some work and travel, but for like if you're a teacher, you can bring your kids or your spouse with you.
Oh, okay. But students.
Not for the SWT program.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay. Thank you for that. Let's see who else. I feel like some of them are repetitive. Is there a wait time for how long it takes once you do your interview and everything? Is there a wait time?
It depends. Like Elizabeth mentioned, there's clearances. There's so many factors that determine. That's why we encourage applicants to apply early to avoid that delay.
Yeah. And I see only one more. So before we wrap up, some Lati asked from Facebook, should I give my employee or employer my passport until the program is completed?
No, you should keep your passport. So when Kay was talking about your rights and protections as a worker, one of those really important ones is you should keep a hold of your passport. You should keep it safe, whether that's in your suitcase or a little travel safe that you have. Even if your employer says it's for safekeeping, it's really, really important that should anything change, say you had a family emergency back home and you had to go back to Jamaica, you need to be able to take that travel document, your passport, and move freely with it whenever you need to. And that's why you've got to keep a hand on it at all times. If you're being pressured in the United States to hand it over to your employer, that's when we want you to reach out, to ask for help. I know it can feel scary to be in a foreign country in the United States without, being a citizen or having a green card, but you deserve these rights and protections. So if you're being pressured, that's when we want you to text HELP to 233-733.
Yeah, that's a red flag for sure.
For sure.
Champ Boss from X asks, can I get a second job while doing my first job while on my J-1 visa, but with another company?
No. Nice try.
Oh, they can't do like full-time, part-time.
No. You can't, don't drive for Uber. You can't deliver for Instacart or DoorDash. When you're up there, that's right.
Just stick to the program and come back to us safely. Yes. Rohan from Facebook asks, can I leave the U.S. on my J-1 for a short time for an emergency and then return to finish my job? So like they went up and then they have a family emergency and they want to go back to Jamaica and then go back up to finish working. Can they?
So J-1 visas are granted multiple entries, which is to say you could go and come, but remember your first obligation is to the job. So make sure, you have proof of that travel. Like when the officer asks you, hey, you left and came back, what was the deal? You should be prepared to explain that, honestly and forthrightly.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
So you're not trapped. You can
Yes.
go, come back, but stick to it. Well, thank you, Kay and Elizabeth. This was very informative. I learned a lot. I hope you guys
Thank
learned
you.
a lot.
Good conversation.
Yeah, it really was. If you do have any further questions, queries, concern, head on over to our website. That is jm.usembassy.gov, G-O-V. I am your host, Ashley, and that is it for us. It was a pleasure being with you today, and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye now.